Shalom. All praises, honor, and glorification unto our mighty, marvelous, and wonderful power. Call Halaim La Alahayana wa Yahweh Bahashim, Yahweh Shai Bahashim, Rakak Wadash. Double honors unto the elders and apostles of Great Millstone who rule well, and who are great examples to our younger brethren. Salutations as well as health and wellness unto the hopeful elect of Yahweh Bashem Yahweh Shai scattered across the earth. This is your brother Allah coming to you with another lesson. And the title of this lesson will be the will to die gloriously rather than to live stained. And this lesson will be a land back off of the video that the elder put up, whose channel was entitled Inspiration of the Almighty. And, as you see, the title of the video is To Die Gloriously Than to Live Stained, which that statement, if you will, is, we ought to contain within our mentality, especially being the times that we're in, right? We have to contain the will to die, for the name of Yahweh Bashem Yahweh Shai, which is a glorious death, rather than to live stained, if that be our, if that fall within our lot. And what do I mean when I say that? Well, I mean, you have certain individuals who are ordained to die for the name of the Lord, when that persecution comes down. And the scriptures tell you that. And that's why it warns us, which I believe that's the first scripture I had planned to get. Let me see. No, it's not, but I'll jump to this, right? That's why it warns us, or instructs us, rather, right? Revelation 2:10, and it reads, "Fear none of those things which thou shalt suffer. Behold, the devil shall cast some of you into prison, that ye may be tried, and ye shall have tribulation 10 days. Be thou faithful unto death, and I will give thee a crown of life." See? All right? I'm going to read that again. Revelation 2:10. And it reads, "Fear none of those things which thou shalt suffer. Behold, the devil shall cast some of you into prison, that ye may be tried, and ye shall have tribulation 10 days. Be thou faithful unto death, and I will give thee a crown of life." See? And let me get this as well. Romans, the 12th chapter and the first verse. Because we're also instructed to present our bodies as living sacrifices, And a part of that, if it be within our lot, is to be willing to die for this truth's sake, for the sake of Yahweh Bashem Yahweh Shai, for the ministry's sake, so on and so forth. Right? Romans 12:1, and it reads, "I beseech you therefore, brethren, by the mercies of the Most High, that ye present your bodies a living sacrifice, holy, acceptable unto the Most High, which is your reasonable service." See? So, ultimately we have to contain a fair amount of selflessness in this truth. And let's look up that word. And us brethren, we're soldiers of Yahweh Bashem Yahweh Shai, which the definition of the word soldier is one who serves in an army, right? And we serve in an army of Yahweh Bashem Yahweh Shai. And what's a primary trait that an adequate soldier must contain? Selflessness when necessary, See? Because soldiers ought to be, they're mission oriented. And see, with our mission, well, I'll leave it at that. The point is pretty much made. But it says concern more with the needs and wishes of others than with one's own. And see, we ought to be more concerned with the needs and wishes of Yahweh B'Shem Yahushai rather than our own. And that's why, when you come into the truth, all your worldly desires, and whether that be a career or whatever, all that stuff is to be set aside. But continuing on, let me see, because I had a few accounts I wanted to read too. But let me get Ecclesiasticus 4:28, and I may just read one of them. But it reads, strive for the truth unto death, and the Lord shall fight for thee. See? Once again, man, the will to die gloriously rather than to live stained. And you read about that in several accounts, man. Right? 2 Maccabees, the 7th chapter. Daniel, the 3rd chapter. Daniel, the 6th chapter. I mean, several accounts. So let's get Daniel, the 3rd chapter, starting at verse 1. Right? And it reads, Nebuchadnezzar the king made an image of gold, whose height was 80 cubits, and the breadth thereof 6 cubits. He set it up in the plain of Dura, in the province of Babylon. Then Nebuchadnezzar the king sent to gather the princes, the governors, and the captains, and the judges, the treasurers, the counselors, the sheriffs, and all the rulers of the provinces, to come to the dedication of the image which Nebuchadnezzar the king has set up. Then the princes, the governors, and captains, the judges, the treasurers, the counselors, the sheriffs, and all the rulers of the provinces were gathered together unto the dedication of the image that Nebuchadnezzar the king has set up. And they stood before the image that Nebuchadnezzar has set up. Then an herald cried aloud, to you it is commanded, O people, nations, and languages, that at what time ye hear the sound of the cornet, flute, harp, sackbut, psaltery, dulcimer, and all kinds of music, ye fall down and worship the golden image that Nebuchadnezzar the king has set up. And whoso falleth not down and worshipeth shall the same hour be cast into the midst of a burning fiery furnace. Right? Therefore at that time, when all the people heard the sound of the cornet, flute, harp, sackbut, psaltery, and all kinds of music, all the people, the nations, and the languages fell down and worshipped the golden image that Nebuchadnezzar the king has set up. Wherefore at that time certain Chaldeans came near and accused the Jews. They spake and said to the king Nebuchadnezzar, O king, live forever. Thou, O king, hast made a decree that every man that shall hear the sound of the cornet, flute, harp, sackbut, psaltery, and dulcimer, and all kinds of music, shall fall down and worship the golden image. And whoso falleth not down and worshipeth, that he should be cast into the midst of a burning fiery furnace. There are certain Jews whom thou hast set over the affairs of the province of Babylon, Shadrach, Meshach, and Abednego, which those are the Babylonian names that were given unto them, but their Hebrew names were Ananiah, Azariah, and Mishael. These men, O king, have not regarded thee. They serve not thy gods, nor worship the golden image that thou hast set up. Then Nebuchadnezzar in his rage and fury commanded to bring Shadrach, Meshach, and Abednego. Then they brought these men before the king. And Nebuchadnezzar spake and said unto them, Is it true, O Shadrach, Meshach, and Abednego? Do not ye serve my gods, nor worship the golden image which I have set up? Now if ye be ready, that at what time ye hear the sound of the cornet, flute, harp, sackbut, psaltery, and dulcimer, and all kinds of music, ye fall down and worship the image which I have made. Well, but if ye worship not, ye shall be cast the same hour into the midst of a burning fiery furnace. And who is that God that shall deliver you out of my hands? Shadrach, Meshach, and Abednego answered and said to the king, O Nebuchadnezzar, we are not careful to answer thee in this matter. If it be so, our power whom we serve is able to deliver us from the burning fiery furnace, and he will deliver us out of thine hand, O king. But if not, right? So their mentality was, even if it isn't the will of the Lord to deliver us. Look, it says, be it known unto thee, O king, that we will not serve thy gods, nor worship the golden image which thou hast set up. See? So they contain the will to die gloriously rather than to live stained. And that stain would be idolatry. See? Right? Let me see if, yeah, we'll read the whole chapter, verse 19. And it reads, Then was Nebuchadnezzar full of fury, and the form of his visage was changed against Shadrach, Meshach, and Abednego. Therefore he spake and commanded that they should heat the furnace 17 times more than it was wont to be heated. And he commanded the most mighty men that were in his army to bind Shadrach, Meshach, and Abednego, and to cast them into the burning fiery furnace. Then these men were bound in their coats, their hosen, and their hats, and their other garments, and were cast into the midst of a burning fiery furnace. Therefore, because the king's commandment was urgent, and the furnace exceeding hot, the flame of the fire slew those men that took up Shadrach, Meshach, and Abednego. And these 3 men, Shadrach, Meshach, and Abednego, fell down bound in the midst of the burning fiery furnace. Then Nebuchadnezzar the king was astonished, meaning astonished, or, like amazed, and rose up in haste and spake and said unto his counselors, Did not we cast 3 men bound into the midst of the fire? They answered and said unto the king, True, O king. He answered and said, Lo, I see 4 men loose, walking in the midst of the fire, and they have no hurt, and the form of the 4th is like the Son of the Most High. Then Nebuchadnezzar came near to the mouth of the burning fiery furnace and spake, and said, Shadrach, Meshach, and Abednego, ye servants of the Most High Power, come forth and come hither. Then Shadrach, Meshach, and Abednego came forth out of the midst of the fire. And the princes, governors, and captains, and the king's counselors being gathered together, saw these men upon whose body the fire had no power, nor was an hair on their heads singed, neither were their coats changed, nor the smell of fire had passed upon them. And see, that's the power of Yahweh by Shem Yahushai. And that's the protection we're going to have as a result of dwelling in the secret place of the Most High and under the shadow of the Almighty. See? Right? Pursuant to the book of Psalms, the 91st chapter. Right, verse 28. It reads, Then Nebuchadnezzar spake and said, Blessed be the Most High of Salakia, blessed be the power of Shadrach, Meshach, and Abednego, who have sent his angel and delivered his servants that trusted in him, and have changed the king's word and yielded their bodies that they might not serve nor worship any god except their own God, even if it means death, man. See? Therefore I make a decree that every people, nation, and language which speak anything amiss against the power of Shadrach, Meshach, and Abednego shall be cut in pieces, and their houses shall be made a dunghill, because there is no other power that can deliver after this sort. Then the king promoted Shadrach, Meshach, and Abednego in the province of Babylon. See? So yeah, man. And there's other examples, but the point is pretty much made. You can go and read the book of 2 Maccabees, the 7th chapter. It's quite a lengthy chapter, so, I won't read it. But, 2 Maccabees, the 7th chapter is another, account of containing the will to die gloriously. Right? So with that, Lord willing, you were edified. Once again and forever, all praises, honor, and glorification unto our mighty, marvelous, and wonderful power. Call Halaimla Alahayan Awa Yahweh Bahashim, Yahushai Bahashim Rakakwadash. Salutations as well as health and wellness unto the hopeful elect of Yahweh Bahashim Yahushai scattered across the earth. See you in the next lesson. Lord willing, Wa Yahweh Bahashim Yahushai Babakshah Bababa, Wa Shalom DTA Sooner, stay sharp, and you sense your Akim Wa Akwat, keep pushing. Shalom.